What is up, guys? Desi Cooney here from Team Outlier, and today I want to give you the exact cues that I use to coach the squat. Let's get into it. All right, guys, before we get into it, if you're asking yourself, what do I know about it? Excellent question. For my part, I have coached 12 lifters over the 600-pound squat barrier so far, hopefully adding a few more here at regionals in the next couple weeks. And my team also won Raw Nationals this year, in part because we had the strongest squat in all of the 110 kg class and the third heaviest squat in all of the 82.5 kilo class. So I know a little bit about it. And this is also just my approach. Obviously, different lifters are gonna need to hear different things, and that's partially why this is sort of broad strokes when it comes to cueing, but these are the exact things that I will go through with somebody. It's just that some of them may mean different things to different people, and this is my attempt to sort of simplify the squat process because I think a lot of people overthink their cueing, and I hope to help that here. So the very first cue that I will give somebody is bad intentions. You can pretty much use this with any exercise, but I'm a big believer of the fact that how you approach the bar matters and really does affect the outcome of the lift. And for the squat specifically, the exercise starts before the unrack. Here I'm looking for you to get some kind of initial brace before the bar comes out of the rack to create a little bit of shelf with the shoulders, dig that upper back into the bar, and create some kind of tightness in whatever way works best for you. For some people, that's gonna be pulling down on the bar like a lat pull down or trying to wrap it around themselves. Other people are gonna be thinking about pushing their hands up into it or trying to get their elbows more underneath it. Whatever, it's gonna vary from person to person, that's totally fine. But you do have to take this opportunity to create tension with the upper back. Then you have to unrack like you mean it. Intent here is everything. My second cue is usually find your feet. Maybe this comes as a surprise to some people, but personally, I really don't get into coaching grabbing the ground or twisting the ground or trying to spread the floor in any particular direction for most people. I actually think there's been way too much of an overcomplicating of these topics in the last few years. Definitely something I was guilty of myself early on in my lifting and coaching career. But mostly all I'm looking for is for you to keep good, even pressure throughout the whole foot. So a nice balance between the heels and the ball of the foot and the toes. And like I said, this cue can mean different things to different lifters. For example, if there's a discrepancy somewhere, like their heel is completely coming up off the ground, maybe find your feet means a little bit more heel bias for that person. Once the feet are set, my third cue is usually set the torso or just get set. This is where I want you to find the torso posture that you'll maintain throughout the whole lift. Usually I say, try to make this top position of your squat start to mimic and feel the bottom position of your squat. We already have our shoulder shelf and our upper back tightness set from before we unracked the bar, but this is generally where most people need to do two things to some degree. Number one is to actually exhale a little bit so we can see the rib cage start to descend into a more neutral position so they aren't super extended through the lower back. And number two, they might need to pre-hinge a little bit to set the torso angle to something more similar to what it will remain for the rest of the lift. Again, it's not universal. You do have some lifters who are able to stay very upright or are very extended through the spine without any issues. But most people that I encounter do benefit from doing those two things, at least to some degree. My fourth cue is big brace. This one should be pretty obvious, but we do need to stabilize the spine with a good bracing breath that creates a ton of intra-abdominal pressure and reinforces this position we've been trying to cultivate thus far. So real importantly, this step should not change your posture in the lift. It should cement it. I usually don't like to see someone take their breath and have their torso angle change or their hips move position or anything like that. Generally, we also want to see you take this bracing breath without picking your rib cage back up too. The shoulders might rise a little bit for some people, but in general, we want this brace to be mostly horizontal and into your belt. This is your last chance to get everything tight before the pieces start moving. And finally, I was going to say here that my fifth cue is descend with intent, but if I'm being honest, I'm not usually saying anything out loud at this point. I'm a big believer that if you put a lot of effort and precision into your setup, that the lift will pretty much execute itself. And also, if you have anything even remotely heavy on the bar, Anything I say after this point really isn't going to matter because number one, you can't change anything, and number two, you're not going to be listening to what I'm saying. But to give a little more clarity about what I'm looking for at this stage, with the descent, I don't want to generally see a slow tempo or a dive bomb. What I'm looking for is just a display of control and confidence. When viewed from the side, the torso angle shouldn't change that much, and the bar path should stay relatively vertical and ideally centered over the middle of your foot. Some deviations are totally normal. And that's about it for this video, guys. Hit me with your squat questions in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And hey, also, if you're in the market for coaching, you can click the link in the description below to work with me personally and join a national championship winning team. I will see you guys next time.